Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor as due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in this gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is a lesson through the Spirit, Lord's will to be edifying. Going into the civil unrest that we're seeing happening in the UK. Also, there's been reports of civil unrest, in Nigeria and also Bangladesh, which I've actually covered that story about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, about the government tyranny and the corruption and how the leader fled the country. But it says here, anarchy spreads as UK, as Muslim pedophile grooming gangs rove nation spreading terror, full government support. But I was hearing a different side of the spectrum as well. I was hearing something about migrants and people that was crossing into the UK illegally and the citizens that got fed up with that. But you always have these right-wing, left-wing stories. But either way it go, all hell is getting ready to break loose. And this is just a foreshadow as to what's coming to America, hopefully within a few short months. Okay, because the way that this economy is looking and the way that this war is getting ready to pop off between Israel and Iran, with America's going to get drugged into it, and also the UK, by default, they will have to side with Israel. It's looking like global war is on. It's imminent. Okay, and no coincidence that these economies are tanking because they have to institute the B system, the MOTB, that RFID chip. Okay, so we can be out of here in a matter of Lord's will. Lord's will, we out of here next year. Lord's will, depending on how they come about with this new digital system. They just need to come on with it, man, and stop playing games and just bring it. Okay? But anyway, it says the UK seems to be falling to radical Islam and right-wing Brits. And says, and right-wing Brits are reportedly really mad about it, which they're blaming aside. And they're blaming citizens and basically stating, well, these are right-wing. That's causing all the controversy. While yet ignoring migrants that's committing crimes and stabbing people and pulling people out of vehicles and doing all manners of wickedness to people, but yet they're locking up just the citizens of that society. Okay, but yeah, you have terrorists or migrants or these different nationals, I say it that way, that they've allowed into these, I say corporations because they're not even really countries, they're corporations, but they allow them into these particular land masses to create all types of turmoil and havoc on the people. And when people decide to retaliate against them, then all of a sudden they want to arrest the people and they want to ban weapons. Okay, but it says numerous right-wing demonstrations, as the media is calling them, over the weekend became violent as police clashed with natives over the ongoing flooding of Great Britain with Muslim migrants from Africa and elsewhere. Okay, so this is a takeover. Okay, these soldiers or these particular migrants that they're allowing in people's countries, they're there for two things: to cause instability and also to be a military force. Because not only would the Americans see the taking of the UN troops, I believe you're going to have UN troops in Britain as well. Okay, and this is why you have all this civil unrest, because further down the line, they're going to have to deploy a more quote-unquote reputable military force when the UK forces get shipped to the Middle East and the US forces get shipped to the Middle East. So you're going to be left with the peacekeepers, and they're good at keeping peace, to say the least. But it says, clash with natives over the ongoing flooding of Great Britain with Muslim migrants from Africa and elsewhere. It says what triggered this latest bout of rage was the murder of 3 children by an African teen named Aksu Rudakabana last week. And you know, one thing about these Brits, they're not so calcified like you peon Americans, you Babylonians. They actually get shit turned up when they need to. Unlike you've been fed poison, you've been fed lies, you've been taxed to death, you've been priced out of your homes, and yet the only thing you people can do is just sit back and fucking go to work every day. You people disgust me, man. Okay, and the other sides of the world, they turning shit up, sending shit to the moon. But yeah, you monkeys over here, you sit back twiddling your thumbs, hoping that this toupee hat wearing Muppet brain demon Donald Trump is gonna bring some justice back to America. Like, fuck, the hell with you damn people, man. But anyway, it says as many as 30 protests erupt over the deaths, with the report suggesting demonstrations in Liverpool, Nottingham, Leeds, Belfast, Stoke-on-Trent, Blackpool, and Hull. These are all provinces within the UK, that island. It says that about a week before all this, riots first erupted in Southport over the attack on the children, which also resulted in 10 others getting wounded. It says they then spread it to other parts of England, including in London, where more than 1,000 or 100 people were arrested for setting a police station in Sunderland on fire. So you see, this is government orchestrated riots, right? But yet they're blaming them on these other fascist groups so they can be justified on pushing certain laws. You know, like nobody's burning no goddamn police station down, and the people are, is because they fed up with the madness, man. But a lot of these are these splinter cell groups or these sleeper cell groups. It reads, it says, many of the protesters saw hordes of angry Brits shouting anti-Islam slogans, even though Ruta Cubana is not Muslim. Even so, Great Britain is being overrun with mobs of fighting age Muslims who look just like the Rubanaka, so natives can hardly tell the difference anymore. See, that's war planning right there. That's to offset the enemy, you know, because they coming in there looking familiar, but yet you don't know who's the enemy now because everybody looks the same. It says many Brits are demonstrating as well because of the recent revelations that UK police have been uncovering the heinous crimes and violence of numerous Muslim grooming gangs, which is no different than these gangs over here. You know, like you got the MS-13, you got the cartels, CIA, FBI. All these are part of, they all work in tandem. Like it was a movie that came out called Sound of Freedom. And basically the trafficking of children, the U.S. government they had hands all in that shit. Okay, all your public officials and your leaders, all these demons, they like the adrenaline of children, I say it the least. I say it that way. You know, they all got little boys and girls that they can play and freak off with. Like, who the fuck gets off when dealing with the child, man? This is a sick, twisted world when you see why the Most High has to burn it. And honestly speaking, he can't burn it quick enough. But it reads, it says they have been roving the country, unleashing terror over the past several decades. But this past April in Leeds, several Muslim men were sentenced to prison for raping 8 British girls. And we know raping is coming back in a big way. It says in that their sentencing, demonstrators could be heard chanting things like, "Pedo Muslims off our streets and save our kids." But at the same time, or at the same demonstration, a handful of pro-pedo Muslim left-wingers appeared so they can stage a counter-demonstration in support of flooding the UK with illegal migrants from Africa. So while we're getting illegal migrants from fucking Ukraine, Iran, okay, particular parts of the Middle East, China, Africa, Venezuela, they getting it with the Hamites, man. But we getting it from all sides, because ultimately this is the place that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai has his judgment set on. But it says in Manchester, a fight reportedly broke out between pro-pedo Muslim counter-protests with anti-pedo Muslim protesters who clashed over the matter, which that's a division. That's completely set up. It says one side was seen tossing fences and other debris at police officers who tried to keep the two groups separate. So this is basically civil unrest, man. Okay, this is what the scriptures prophesied about. And this is just the beginning. This shit is going to be all over the world in a minute, because it was prophesied in the scriptures. But it says chaos is reportedly spreading everywhere across England, as police struggles to keep left-wing Brits from attacking right-wing Brits. But they both part of the same parliament, man. And vice versa. Meanwhile, Muslim pedo rapists are said to be unleashing hell wherever they can get away with it. It said it's the government you should be protesting. Idiots, wrote one commenter about the feudal right-left paradigm. This is why wise Hungary wants no hordes of illegal immigrants, wrote another. Okay, so yeah, shit finna go down. So peep these videos. I'm gonna get a couple of precepts and then we'll come back and actually peep a couple of these videos, because I had 1 or 2 pulled up on the YouTube as well. It says hundreds arrested in UK far-right riots after deadly Southport stabbings, because people were getting snatched out of their vehicles, they're getting stabbed up. And these are just regular civilians that's getting the foot. You know, but somehow, some way, the government and the police are rolling on the citizens of the UK, when in fact they let these left and right wing people run rampant. So it's a shit show, man. But this is Esau's world. This is a division. So let's see what Yahweh Shai said. It says here, Yahweh Shai divides men. And it reads, it says, I have come not to send fire on the earth. It says, I have come to send fire on the earth. And what would I if it already be kindled? Okay? And that's the point. Fire talking about in the form of these riots, these protests, these government collapses, these economic collapses, and ultimately the literal fire, which is going to be with thermonuclear destruction. Okay? America's going to be totally wiped out. And it reads, it says, but I have a baptism to be baptized with, and how I am straitened till it be accomplished, and straight goes into straits of difficulties. Because the scriptures say, through much tribulation we should enter the kingdom. And suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth. It says, I nay tell you, but rather division. And this is why you have left wing against right wing, okay? Within it being the U.S. Congress or the government or the parliament, which the Congress and the parliament are pretty much one and the same counterpart. They're just different names. They both pretty much do the same goddamn thing, you know? But you got the left wing against the right wing, while the citizens are caught in the middle, not knowing that the left wing and the right wing is all part of the same fucking bird. You know, when a bird flies, the wings are completely in they are completely in unison with one another, because the bird will never be able to get to its destination if you have the left wing flopping against the right wing. No, man, that's not how it works. Common sense would tell you that these things are being put into play to push certain agendas on you people. And that ultimate agenda is going to be to lock you down, force illegal mandates of juice in you, okay, at gunpoint, and they're gonna threaten you to get the MOTB. Prison time, jail time, fine time. They're going to fine you and eventually they'll throw you out of your situation, and where they can put you to death. So we coming into a time that shit just finna get real weird. It's going to be all over the place. So we got to be locked in. But it says, nay, but rather division. It says, for from henceforth there should be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2, 2 against 3. Yeah, and even among these governments, man, you got the congressmen, they're divided. Okay, you got the parliaments, they're divided. You got the left wing, right wing, the Democrats, the Republicans. Then you got the citizens down the middle. Okay, all the way down to the common household. You may have a Democratic mother and you might have a Republican father, and they have opposing political views. So therefore, they're creating tension or contention among the household, man. Because she wants to be a feminist and a whore, so she wants to put this demon Kamala in there, and he believes in hating niggas and gun rights and drinking beer with the fucking hot dogs and being a racist. He wants to put Trump in there. So, you see, it's divided. And that's why this place is going to fall, because during the time of World War II, America was completely united to some degree to stave off the opposing forces, man. Okay, but now going into World War III, they're highly divided, even among the military, man. You got transmissions in there. You got happy people in there. And they don't even all agree to disagree. So it's just a shit show, man. And once you're divided, that's a weakness. All right? In these other nations, they see that. But it says the father should be divided against the son, and the son against the father, and the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother, and the mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. Okay? So that's a division right there. Go over here to the book of Matthew 24. Because what we're seeing, eventually it's just going to spread out of control to the point it's going to reach America. Because a lot of this is directly in ties with what's happening in America, man. It just broke out over there first because we've always taught and believed that the Most High is going to save the best for last. So it's going to come a time that in your little very city you live in, whether it be Chicago, and Chicago is going to be literally, that's going to be Beirut on steroids, man. All right, that Chicago is going to be a whole different world of a purge. Okay, L.A., New York, Dallas, Houston. What's another city down there? San Antonio, Kansas City. Shit is going to go down here too. Cleveland. All right, in these major metropolises. Even in the suburbs, it's going to go down. And they're going to have to set up garrisons and checkpoints throughout these particular main hubs because they ain't going to want people getting in and out for the quote unquote the justifying of freedom, no, I mean of safety. All right, Matthew 24:7. It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there should be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in divers places, man. Let's not even get into the weather. All right, we were just under a damn heat wave just 2 days ago. Now it's 75 degrees outside. It feels like basically pre-fall. Feels beautiful. It feels great outside right now. But just yesterday, it was 100 goddamn degrees. You know? So, yeah, man, these are all signs of Yahweh Shai coming back. And eventually, they're going to put a plug on the truth because we ain't going to be able to upload to these channels in too much longer. And we ain't going to be able to go out to the streets when all hell break loose, man. So, hey, we close. But it says there should be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. And it says, and all these are the beginning of sorrows. These are the beginning of sorrows. All right. Let's go from here to the book of 2nd Ezra 6. And I'm going to start at 18. And it says, and it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. And how is the Lord visiting us? Through storms, through tempests, through these world events, through the shattering of economies, through this world war, okay, through apparitions, through judgments. All right, it was an event that took place, I believe, Sunday morning in Kansas City. 500 knuckleheads decided to get together and have some fun, whatever the fuck that mean. And you know, Jake was probably out there jag racing and doing donuts, and you know, a nigga got into it, you know, with somebody. It's always a damn nigga, and it was in the hood when this happened. They said like 5-6 motherfuckers got murdered. You know, just judgment. The Lord is sending out death angels like left and right. You know, so yeah, it's pretty grim. And it says here, and I will begin to make inquisition, which inquisition goes into like investigating something. Okay, to begin to make inquisition of them, what they have. It says what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, with the affliction of Zion should be filled. Yeah, the sodomy, the putting us in captivity, the totally depletingness of our resources, man. We're totally resourceless, and any resources we get is through Esau, Edom, and that comes with stipulations behind that shit. All right, but it says here, and when the affliction of Zion should be fulfilled, and our affliction is our captivity. We're at the end of our captivity. That's why the Lord is getting ready to break this system down. Scriptures say with violence should Babylon go be brought down with violence, and that's talking about the riots, the skirmishes, and also the missiles. Salakia, hiccups. But it says here, and when the world that should begin to vanish away, and this world is vanishing, it's getting worse and worse by the second. It says should be finished. Then would I show these tokens, and the book should be open before the firmament, and they should see all together. And that represents us being out there on the streets teaching. Okay, the books goes into the scriptures. You see us out there in the books. The firmament goes into these videos going into the cloud. Because when you think of firmament, you think of the heavens. Okay, like the atmosphere, the ozone layer, the atmosphere. Okay, the barrier over the earth, so to speak. You know, that protects us from space junk. You know. But anyway, it says, and the children of a year old should speak with their voices, and the women with child should bring forth untimely children of 3 or 4 months old, and they should live and be raised up. Yeah, preemies. I know a person in particular, they were born in 4 months, and they lived a full life. They're still alive today, alive and well. All right, and you got several stories of babies being born 3 months, 4 months, 5 months before deliverance date, and they still grow up to be somewhat of reputable people. Okay? But in the ancient world, that wasn't so. Usually, if you have a stillborn or a miscarriage, and that's just what it is. But it reads, it says, and suddenly should the sown places appear unsown, and we're getting ready to see that upon its economic collapse. Now, allegedly, they bailed it out, but either way it go, if they bailed it out and they have like stipulations all the way up until October, then that's just gonna delay it. They kick the can down the road. All right, which this chick Janet Yellen, I believe she's talking about a $74 trillion proposal for 2050. Like, bitch, you ain't gonna be around 2050. Your ass is gonna be in slavery. America ain't gonna see no goddamn 2050. You be lucky if you see fucking 2030 here. If we see 2030, I'll be surprised, man. But I hope not. I hope this place don't see 25. I hope this place don't see this time next year. All right, but I had enough of this shit, man. Bring the missiles already. And as it suddenly should the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouse should be suddenly found empty. Yeah, because that's in the moment of an eye when the banks close and all hell break loose. Then, hey, you know, people are going to literally run into the stores and they're going to loot them shits. They say the average store have, what, 2 or 3 days supply of food? And you empty a store in no time. And they're not going to be sending trucks in and out of the city, you know, because they want to starve you people out to get you to bow down to their New World Order. And the trumpet should give a sound, which when every man hear it, they should suddenly be afraid. And that trumpet is blowing now. We're hearing it. We're seeing it. And at that time shall friends fight one another. It says, and at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein, and the springs of the fountain shall stand still. In 3 hours they should not run, okay? But the point was really in 24. Friends shall fight one against another like enemies, man. All right, and we're going to see that. We're seeing it now. Left wing, right wing, you know, protests here, protests there. It's a lot of shit that's going down. This has been a very, very eventful year. And for whatever reason, the beginning of the year turns up, but the second half of the year always turns up, man. Because right now, we're in the second half. We're more than halfway through 2024. Shit is August, what, September, October, November. We got roughly 4 months and some change before this place is totally in another year. So if 2024 was off the chain, then just imagine how 2025 gonna be. 25, we may see full-fledged World War III if they go ahead and push this, mandate this goddamn chip, man. You know, Esau's scared. He don't want to go down that route because he know when he do that, the Lord's getting ready to take his bitch ass out. All right, this is the book of 2 Esdras 9, and I'm gonna start at verses 3. It says, therefore, when there should be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like all that is made in the world hath the beginning and the end, and the end is made manifest. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain wonders and have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and ending in effects and signs. All right, it's all around you. We're literally living the pages of this book. And if you can't see it, then hey, maybe you're not meant to see it. But we're literally living out the pages of this Bible, man. It's crazy how it's all coming to play. It still seems surreal. Like, wow, is this really happening? Because you see it, you grasp it, but you don't really feel the emotion behind it. But you see it and you know it's happening and you believe it. Because we're so checked out of this place, man. But these people, they're literally in straits. And everyone that should be saved and should be able to be escaped by his works and by faith whereby ye believe should be saved from the said perils, and should see my salvation in my land and within my borders. For I've sanctified them for me from the beginning. And that's going into the elect. So we keep this pace up, brothers, and we keep teaching and believing. We're going to be cool. I got faith that Yahweh Shem Shai is going to shield us from all this hell to come. And hey, shit, can't forget about that power, man. You know, the men of the Lord getting that spiritual power to push this devil back. Scriptures say when the enemy should come in as a flood, then the spirit of the Lord should raise up a standard against him. Okay, now how that's going to play out, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say at this point, but hey, we know that the Lord is going to do something. All right, so with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Lord's will, you will edify. Until the next lesson. Shalom.
With a major cleanup underway, authorities vow justice will prevail.
This was an area that was seized with shock and fear throughout yesterday.
Those who descended on this hotel housing asylum seekers were called far-right thugs by the Prime Minister. The crowd smashed windows, set fires, and attacked police.
We have seen at least 12 of our officers injured, with items such as bricks, fence posts, branches.
For 5 days, violent unrest has swept across England and Northern Ireland. Unruly demonstrations fueled by disinformation following the killing of 3 little girls at a dance studio 1 week ago. False online reports said the attacker was an asylum seeker who arrived by boat in 2023. Police tried to correct the public record, stating the 17-year-old accused was born in the UK.
This is not protest. It is pure violence, and we will not tolerate attacks on mosques or our Muslim communities.
The Prime Minister held an emergency session with officials over the attacks. The Secretary of Defense met with people in Rotherham, and the Home Secretary appeared on TV, all in an effort to assert control and restore calm.
Total disgraceful criminal behaviour, and we should be clear, there will be a reckoning.
Still, many non-white residents say they're feeling increasingly unsafe.
It's demoralizing to know that people in society can reach such a low point in their lives where attacks are happening.
Given the violence, Canada and several other nations issued travel advisories warning citizens to exercise a high degree of caution if in the UK. Crystal Gamansing, Global News, London.
Always stay in sync with your business with the QuickBooks mobile app. Seamlessly track your
Thank you.